If you were born before 1955, there's something you need to check today. Because thousands of retirees are discovering that the Social Security payments they've been receiving for years may not be the full amount they're actually entitled to receive. And here's the shocking part. In many cases, nobody from the Social Security Administration contacts you to warn you about the mistake. The system simply calculates a number, sends your monthly payment, and assumes everything is correct. But what if it isn't? What if a missing earnings record, an outdated calculation, or an administrative error is quietly costing you hundreds of dollars every month? Today, we're going to break down why these mistakes happen, how common they really are, and most importantly, what you can do right now to find out whether you're being underpaid. So stay with me until the end, because the final step could make the difference between continuing to lose money and finally getting what you've earned. Let's begin. Most people assume Social Security calculations are automatic and error-free. After all, the government has decades of employment records, tax filings, and earnings reports. But the reality is far more complicated. Your retirement benefit is based on your highest 35 years of earnings. Those earnings may go back 40, 50, or even 60 years. Every employer had to report your wages correctly. Every record had to be entered accurately. And every piece of information had to remain attached to your Social Security number throughout your working life. That sounds simple. But when records stretch across decades, mistakes happen. Sometimes a year of earnings is missing. Sometimes wages are reported incorrectly. And sometimes records never get matched properly at all. The result? A lower monthly benefit than you should be receiving. For many retirees, the difference may seem small at first, maybe $50, maybe $100. But over 10 or 20 years of retirement, that missing money can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine losing $100 every month for 20 years. That's $24,000 gone. Not because you made a mistake, simply because nobody checked the records. And that's exactly why reviewing your Social Security earnings history is so important. Now, let's talk about another issue that affected millions of Americans born between 1943 and 1954. For this group, full retirement age was 66. That means claiming benefits at age 66 allowed you to receive 100% of the retirement benefit you earned. However, many people claim benefits as early as age 62, and while that provided income sooner, also permanently reduced monthly payments. Many retirees later discovered they didn't fully understand how significant that reduction would be. A decision made at age 62 affected every payment they received afterward. But even if you claim at the correct age, that doesn't automatically mean your benefit amount is correct. The benefit calculation still depends on your earnings record. If that record contains mistakes, your payment could still be lower than it should be. And that's where things become important. Because unlike the decision to claim early, an earnings record error may actually be fixable. So how do you check? The first step is creating or logging into your My Social Security account. Once inside, you'll find a complete earnings history showing what Social Security believes you earned during every year of your working life. Take your time reviewing it. Look for years showing zero income when you know you worked. Look for earnings that seem unusually low. Look for gaps that don't make sense. Even one incorrect year can affect your benefit calculation. If you discover something suspicious, don't ignore it. The next step is gathering proof. Old tax returns, W-2 forms, pay stubs, employment records, anything that helps verify what you actually earned. Many people assume they need perfect documentation from every year. That's not necessarily true. Even partial records can help start a review. Once you've collected supporting documents, you can request a correction through Social Security. The agency reviews the evidence and compares it with existing records. If an error is confirmed, your earnings history may be updated. And in some situations, that correction can increase future benefits and potentially result in back payments. Now here's something important. The longer an error remains undiscovered, the harder it can become to correct. Older records are more difficult to verify. Documents get lost. Employers disappear. Paperwork becomes harder to find. That's why experts often recommend reviewing your earnings records sooner rather than later. Another area retirees should verify involves delayed retirement credits. If you waited beyond full retirement age before claiming benefits, your monthly payment may have increased. For many people, waiting until age 70 significantly boosted their benefit amount. While mistakes in this area are less common, they can still occur. That's why reviewing your benefit calculation carefully is always worth the effort. And there is one final lesson that every retiree should remember. The Social Security Administration processes millions of records every year. Most employees are doing their best, but no system is perfect. Errors happen, and when they do, the responsibility for spotting them often falls on the individual receiving the benefit. That's why awareness matters. Checking your earnings record may take only a few minutes, but those few minutes could reveal information that affects your income for years to come. So if you were born before 1955, make it a priority. Log into your account. Review your earnings history. Look at every year. And if something doesn't seem right, investigate it. Because the money you've earned throughout your working life deserves to be calculated correctly. If you found this information useful, share this video with a friend, family member, or retiree who may benefit from seeing it. A simple review today could prevent years of missed income tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.